All right. So, hey, gang, I want to ask you guys a question. Just how would you define what LinkedIn actually is and how it's changed since you originally experienced LinkedIn for the first time?
I will say I could go because I don't know if I'm thinking about it from a strictly just what my own understanding of it was. I always thought LinkedIn was just a social networking tool for professionals to connect with each other across industries, across the globe. Like, really, that's how I originally thought it was. I didn't think of it necessarily to be as like it was a networking tool in my eyes, but I didn't necessarily at the time think when it first came out, it was like made for you to like find a job. I thought it was more just to connect with like-minded people in your industry or in whatever it is you're doing or make new professional connections. Like that's what I thought LinkedIn was. I don't know about y'all.
Yeah, I guess it has evolved a lot. Like when I can't even think back to like when I first started on it, but when I think of um after the first few years of having my first few jobs, and once you do connect with people and how it has evolved, like I actually, as much as I kind of find it very cringe and despise it, I've gotten a lot of opportunities just from having an active, semi-active profile, and just by being on LinkedIn. I don't even have that many connections, but I could say I've gotten at least 2 jobs or maybe 3 jobs from LinkedIn, and opportunities on top of that too.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I would define LinkedIn as a waste of time. Personally, I think it's always been a waste of time. I used to be a parenting and educator influencer on Twitter. Rest in peace, Twitter. Okay. And while I was on there, someone was like, hey, you need to get on LinkedIn just so that you have your name because people will steal your name. So every new social media platform that came out, I just would get on and sign up for an account just so that someone didn't have my name or my handle that I was using at the time. Now I don't really give a shit. Um, so that's the only reason why I was on LinkedIn. I was like, this place is weird. It even back then felt like Facebook. It felt like I was using it as a black book. So, I was like, okay, well, this is just where I'll just collect my people and be able to come back and find them later. But now it's evolved onto basically an online like vapid zoo and ass kissing session. Like that's just, you know what I mean? Like that's how I feel. Like I have gotten no jobs from LinkedIn. I have gotten no looks but spam, people trying to date me. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, honestly, at the end of the day, like, wow, I'm glad you're having your experience at least. But, like, for me, like, LinkedIn is a fucking headache. It always has been. And I cannot wait to talk about getting the
How
hell
is it different? Like LinkedIn really is just social media at the end of the day. It's another social media platform. It's the same as like, I feel like it's like any social media platform out there. Like, and I kind of, I don't really, I feel like we could argue all day about whether social media
we
is
will.
good or bad for society. I'm talking TikTok, Instagram, all of that stuff. But yeah, it's like, it's weird. How do you both generally feel about using social media, like not even just LinkedIn, for your career or for your development? Like, what are your thoughts around that? Because Remington, you've been doing the thing on TikTok with the new ladder, like, but you haven't posted in a minute. Tell us about that.
I mean, that is a very good point. Yeah, I have not posted in a minute because I didn't want to. Like, I didn't go into this. Right? Like I didn't go into this wanting to be a content creator. I've never wanted to be a content creator. I personally am not. I've never been about using social media to promote my things. And I know unfortunately that's just the time that we're in, and that's how people get a lot of organic clients and like engagement and reach and all those things. It's through social media. So it's like, yeah, you sometimes as an entrepreneur or as a business owner or whatever, it's like you do have to put yourself in situations that you would prefer not to. Like, unfortunately, like if you want to sell a product, like even if you are not a seller, but you have an amazing idea for a product, you're going to have to get comfortable with like selling something. Like you're gonna have to get comfortable with selling your product, even if it's just to investors or like people who are just trying to like give you money to hire people to do the big selling work for you. So that's like kind of how I see my use of social media. Like I just really am only doing it because I know it should and needs to be done to help, you know, get my services out there. But do I want to? No. Do I think that it's something that's like slips away at my soul every time I have to push a like, post button? Yes. But I think ultimately, like when it comes to things like LinkedIn, I personally, I don't know. I also am on the same boat as you, Amber, where it's like I've never gotten a job through LinkedIn. I've never gotten a job. Now, will I say I've gotten a job through my network? Absolutely. Like through having one-on-one connections with people or people, you know, talking to other people about me, like absolutely. But has it once ever been because of my LinkedIn profile? No, I would not say so. I would say it's because I got out there in the world. I met people. We stayed in touch. We, you know, that effort went in. And unfortunately now to me, I feel like LinkedIn is just this like saturated playground of people who are trying to like stand out from one another and trying to make connections with one another. And because it's like, it's like a dating profile, in my opinion. Like when you said dating, Amber, I was like, yeah, because that's how it feels. It's like there's all these choices, and when you're overwhelmed with choices, nobody talks to anybody because you're just like, I can't. It's like not natural. So I don't know. That's how I feel. It stresses me out. What about you two? Because you guys also have social media presence. Like,
I just want to jump in and be like, the insidious nature of LinkedIn posing itself as a professional social media platform makes it even more like toxic and totally fucked up, right? Like at the end of the day, LinkedIn is for the boomers, and it is to elevate their ego in the workplace to allow them to continue to be like, I have power in the workplace and my voice matters, when many of y'all's ideas are fucking dumb. Do you know what I mean? Sorry to say it. Like, I'm in my pajamas right now. I don't even care.
Like, have you guys seen the new LinkedIn? Speaking of which, the new ads for LinkedIn, like on TV, it's actually, because in a way they do kind of like speak to like what you're talking about. But I can't remember exactly what the feature is or what, but it's an ad for LinkedIn, and they're like, oh, we can't control what your like brother-in-law post idea, whatever, and then it cuts to this like scene of like this guy who's like in a walking water treadmill type thing. So it's like half pool, half working desk, but they're kind of in a way poking fun and making fun of their own users by saying like, yes, there is like some serious nonsense on there of people like, you know, stroking their professional ego or putting out these crazy ideas. But yeah, again, I do think it's the same as every single social media platform and just a reflection of society.
I'm going to push back and say TikTok actually, for me, as someone who loves intellect and like loves like how people pull apart ideas and the strategic nature in which people like make things come to life through content and media, like, and also distill challenging ideas and dissertations into something that people can actually consume. Instagram does not provide that. TikTok actually does, at least the people on my For You page. I don't know what everybody else is watching. I'm not watching cat videos.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so like for me, TikTok is like the town hall that Twitter used to be, that Threads is trying to become. Instagram was never. Instagram was always a vapid, empty space, and LinkedIn has followed it. But TikTok for me, because I have catered my For You page to be, what is someone's dissertation about the metaphysical nature of, you know, burning sage in your home to ward off negative energy? Like someone takes that, connects it to witchcraft and hoodoo and Wicca and like, you know, all kinds of things that are just amazing that you don't have mental access to on a regular basis. TikTok does that, even with it being taken over by the Ellisons. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
but that's the whole design of TikTok.
LinkedIn could never, Instagram could never.
You know but that it like TikTok, your For You page is just a reflection of what will keep you on the platform. And look how different, like, for example, your For You page is to like your kids. Like, it really is just something to suck up your energy and make you like, and also it, in a way, it strokes your own ego, because they're like and to keep you on the platform. It's the same. Every social media is the same.
Yes, the algorithm does that, but like,
end of the day, they're just trying to keep you on the platform, and they have this like sheer of like what the value proposition is, but underneath it all, like it's not that.
I am not surprised, and no shade to my Capricorn friend here, but that that the work social media platform is the one that she's like, yeah, okay.
No, I'm not. I never said that. I'm not saying that I'm like a stand for LinkedIn. I'm saying like I would never like. If you say that about LinkedIn, it applies to like every social media platform has the same things, and like there are like whatever, like each of them have their own offerings. Like you can sort of make work for yourself, which we'll get into a little bit later as well. But yeah, I think that they have ways to use them, and then they have ways to abuse you as a user.
Right. I think the thing that LinkedIn did a really good job at with what you're saying, Elise, is like getting people hooked into using it as a platform is the fact that it maintains this level of hope that you can find your next opportunity through LinkedIn. You know what I mean? Even though like they have the job board section is like super, yet they have companies paying them to be featured and to have their jobs posted there. They have people who are constantly posting status updates about like things they're hiring for. They also make it really easy to find, recruiters and people who are trying to like recruit for jobs and things of that nature, or blah, blah, blah. And it's like, they sell you an idea that LinkedIn is a great place for you to find a job, even though it's really a great place for companies to gain visibility. Like that's really what it is. And it's really actually not set up for you to succeed as somebody who's looking for a job. It's mostly set up for these companies who are paying them to be able to have like the proper outreach that they want so they can continue rising in terms of visibility. Like that's how I see it. And like, honestly too, it's just like, it's so frustrating seeing people and hearing people say, well, I'm going to go to LinkedIn. I'm looking at the job boards on LinkedIn. As somebody who is, this is not sponsored by LinkedIn, if you couldn't tell already.
I do. Well, actually, I do.
Wouldn't that but yeah, like as somebody who just despises how it's set up for people who are actually in need, I'm like, please, like don't go. I think LinkedIn is a good starting point if you want to know what's out there. Like, I think I would use it as a tool the same way people use AI as a tool, but I would not use it as like the end all be all to find a job. Like, no, that's just,
especially if it's your first job, like you're not going to find, like you're going to have you don't have, So, which is crazy because it's like, why would any new generation get on LinkedIn nowadays? Because it's like, it's really not going to help them. Like I was saying earlier, like I think that I only got any benefit out of it after I had been using it after I had been more mid in my career, like the middle of my career, not like an entry level. And so, in that way, it's like, it is a waste of time in a sense of being a new user on LinkedIn now, how it works and all this AI stuff. Let's dive into it with a video from Remington's TikTok, the new ladder, where she talks about LinkedIn, and it resonates with all of us. So let's just watch that real quick and come back for a discussion.
LinkedIn, you guys, is exhausting. It's become utterly exhausting. It's not the place that it used to be. It's no longer a place for genuine connection and building professional connection. It's a cry for help. As a career coach who works specifically with young people, but with all ages as well, and who's constantly looking at the job market, understanding trends, learning about what people are looking for, would I recommend LinkedIn to somebody who's on the job search? Yes and no. I almost honestly equate LinkedIn to the spam folder in your primary inbox. It's just, you scroll through to see who's there. And if you don't know them, most likely it's going to be deleted. Unless it's some amazingly catchy subject line, it's just not going to happen. You're going to get skimmed over really quickly and just never heard from. And it's honestly really sad to see. because every time I go to my LinkedIn page now, somebody talking about how they've been applying for a job for months, if not years, and have yet to have any progress in terms of the investment that they're putting in, time, energy, etc., how they're losing hope in terms of being able to even have any sort of luck on getting a job, and that they've been taking out money in their savings, their 401k, just to survive, and to still hear back from nobody is completely mentally and emotionally demoralizing. I would only really recommend LinkedIn if you already have a connection or a network that you want to optimize. If you already have people in your professional network that you want to stay in touch with, or want to continue in an easy way and want to continue congratulating them on new accomplishments and finding a low effort way to continue staying in their minds, that's the way to do it. But if you do not have those connections already, I'm telling you, LinkedIn, it's just not the place anymore where you can blind email somebody or cold email somebody and expect them to respond, or, DM a recruiter and hope that your application stands out from the rest. Too many people have caught on, unfortunately, and you're better off contacting your friends and family and seeing if they know somebody from a job or a company that you want to work at, than direct messaging somebody on LinkedIn that you don't know. It really is unfortunate, but it's just kind of the climate that we're in.
Oh,
first of all, come through skin glowing and beautiful hair, but also amazingly smart content.
Period. Who's she? I want to learn more from her. That's crazy. Wow, she seems pretty.
Y'all better follow her.
Yeah, don't forget to follow the new ladder. Wait, how come the new ladder isn't on LinkedIn and you posting your videos on LinkedIn? Because you don't recommend your clients to find opportunities on LinkedIn?
No. Well, isn't that interesting? That would actually be one reason, but no, I was thinking about probably adding them eventually onto LinkedIn for those who are there. Like, you got to go where the people are. My demographic personally is working with people who are non-traditionalists in terms of their career path. So people who don't want to subscribe to like a corporate 9-to-5 job, like that's,
and they probably would never even be on LinkedIn anyways.
Exactly. And like, sure, there are people who are there who are looking to leave their corporate jobs or looking to find something or a career path that aligns with what it is they really want. So like, I don't want to completely leave them out of the crowd, but that has not been my primary focus in terms of where I want to put my content, because most likely the people who I'm speaking to don't want to go on LinkedIn. They think it's an absolute, like Amber was saying, waste of time. They also think it's a place where they are not really going to find what they are looking for. But again, like that's part of the ladder, right? That I'm building a new ladder. It's like, we're going to start from one place and then we grow in terms of where we put our content. So eventually I'll probably put it on LinkedIn just so I don't leave people out that could benefit from the content. But like, yeah, no, that's not my priority. LinkedIn is not my priority, as I've so eloquently put in the video, as you could see. But yeah, I don't know.
And 100% agree that like you're gonna get further if you find a connection to a connection in real life, or someone you know can introduce you to the someone you know at that company. But on the other hand, it's like sometimes I have used LinkedIn to like find names to then reach out to, maybe not even on LinkedIn, but on an email or something. And otherwise, yeah, without that like kind of directory aspect of LinkedIn, it would be hard to know like, oh, cool, there's this organization that I somewhat admire. I want to connect with someone from there. Like in a way, LinkedIn is good for that. Yeah. So use it, I guess, as a tool, as a resource, but not something that you can fully rely on or expend all your energy on and expect a return.
I would say exactly that, Elise, where it's like, I would not spend a majority of your time on LinkedIn to find any sort of like networking leads or anything of that nature. I would use it almost as a directory if that's what you want to do. Like if you already have, like I said, an established network of people where it's like emailing them every single day would be a lot, like I think you should have your core group of people where it's like your core group of professional contacts where it's like, you want to harvest those connections and really build into them often, right? And like with a lot of intention and effort. So that's through email, through, a holiday gift basket, through, an occasional, congratulations text, whatever those people may be. Like those are the people that you want to continuously put effort into growing. And then you have like the B tier, which is the people who you met at work, who you were fond of, but you don't have that like really big connection with, but you want to still stay in the circle. Those are the people that I would kind of keep my LinkedIn flourishing on, and making sure like, okay, maybe I like a status, or, congratulations, or maybe I send them a DM here or there, whatever the case may be. But yeah, I would use LinkedIn as more of just a strategic tool to help you, like, I guess, figure out how you want to sorry, I'm blah, blah, blah on words, how you want to continue like investing in certain networking relationships, but like, and also like use tools to help you use LinkedIn as a tool. Like there are different, like extensions and AI apps and tools where you can help like attach it to your LinkedIn to help find people's information. I know that's like not technically frowned upon, but whatever, do what you got to do in this world. Okay. Seriously. So like if there's like an extension tool, I don't know if you guys know Apollo. It's like where you can basically use it as you can download the extension on Chrome, and then you go to people's LinkedIn, and then you can find their email addresses through accessing their profile, like things like that. So it's really like, yeah, use that LinkedIn for those reasons, and then take it offline like you're saying. But I wouldn't spend more than just like, some preliminary research on that place. That's
especially when like as a user or a scroller or whatever, like passively, like even someone commented on your video saying like they either see job seekers posting, I'm about to be homeless because no one is hiring, or on the other hand, recruiters posting, I can't find any talent, looking for more talent to hire. And so as a user or like as a human, it is so mentally draining to then like go through a platform and that's what you see. It's like, it just proves like when posts like that are right next to each other, it's like, okay, just proving the point this platform isn't working how it should.
It's working as intended, everybody.
It really,
like, exactly. Honest to God, like I think this is when I first got on social media. I was on Black Planet. Yes, I'm old as fuck. I'm an elder millennial. My first social media platform was Black Planet. And then I migrated from Black Planet to MySpace, and from there to Facebook, and the rest of the cacophony of bullshit that we're all waiting in today. And from the moment I signed on to Black Planet, I realized, like the whole goal of this is to feed off of all of us. I couldn't articulate it in that way, like when I was in high school, right, and in college, but I was like, it feels like this is not a service, because nothing is free.
Well, that's 100% exactly. Like that is,
we all know that, and we all carry that with us. But I think there are a lot of people that like sign on to these platforms like a LinkedIn, and they're like, why isn't the platform helping me? And it's like, baby, like they're collecting data on, let's say, the desperation level of educated Black women with masters and PhDs during a time of economic blah, blah, blah. And then they're using that data to sell it to third-party folks so that then they can go off and sell us more products in other places. Like, I think we all, as a society, have given these platforms the power to have control over the job industry, over our lives, over our mental health. And we really need to begin to all be like, yeah, I may be benefiting from this just a smidge, but like this company, these entities are benefiting off of me way more than anything I have ever gotten from that fucking platform.
Otherwise they wouldn't exist.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So I ultimately agree. Like, I think that when you think of the point of any app, like you really have to understand they are a business at the end of the day. And if LinkedIn's true purpose was to get all of us employed, like there would be nothing really left for it to do, like there really wouldn't be. It really is designed to keep us in a loop, the same way that, like I said, dating apps, I think it's a great example, dating apps, because really truly like it's designed to shape it as we want you to find the love of your life, but we're also going to make it very difficult for you to find the matches that we know you are looking for, because we want you to stay engaged with our app, you know? So they're going to keep aligning you with people who don't meet your standards, or they're going to keep aligning you, or the algorithm is going to mess up in the way where you're not optimized, or your profile isn't optimized as much as some random Joe Schmo's, profile is optimized, and you're not seeing anybody that you would actually like. And so I think it all operates at the end of the day in the same way, where it's like they want you to keep engaging with it. That's how they stay in business. That's how they continue to make money. So like when we start as people starting really understand that, then we don't give them so much power, and then we don't become so demoralized when like we realize it's not working, Yeah. There was a way back in the day, I don't know, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like people are in my TikTok consumption, I'm starting to look at people who are returning to the old ways of applying to jobs before all of this existed, which was printing out your resume, going in person and being like, hey, are you guys hiring? If you are, here's my resume. If not, I would love to be considered. Like, what do you guys think of, people going back to the ways that we used to know how to do things and apply for jobs when it wasn't just online based?
I mean,
these days
Go ahead.
You go.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I actually think that's more, we're actually already at a post point where you're more likely to get your stuff seen by like a human if you go in person and like be able to talk to someone face to face, or even call to call or email to email. Because if you're applying anywhere online, like it is going through an AI like algorithm, like applicant screening process before it even makes it to anyone seeing it. And of course those are filled with biases and all these like things that actually are working against you. So you can send out 100 resumes and like not even one will make it past the like the applicant tracking system, because those are designed with so much flaws just for like efficiency and again but anyways, but I do think like if any, I think it's way more like you get more out of being able to have those connections face to face. And yeah, like social media also totally cannibalized our access to community. Like it totally eclipsed like what community used to mean pre social media. So it sucks that like now we live in this post communal world, not that we were ever that communal, but like post community world where it was more common together. But I feel like we definitely need to come back to that if we're all gonna survive.
I think it all depends on where you're located, and I think it all depends on who's in your network, what colleges you've gone to, and who you've had access to, right? Like someone like me, I have a global community of people I don't tap into, just because I'm like, do I even want to do some of the stuff that is required to access those people? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, not everyone from my background or my experience even has access to that, right? Yeah. I'm located in the Midwest, which is a very different place from when I was on the East Coast. And so even the kinds of industry, very different access points to where I was in Washington, D.C. And so when I think about the whole going in person, and then also like, it's one thing when an algorithm or a platform has a layer or a lens of racial and gender bias against you. It's another fucking thing when it's someone in your face, playing in your face. Yeah. And so like, I think we all need to recognize, like, if I'm a white dude or a white woman, hell yeah, I'm gonna walk up to anybody I want to walk up to. People are gonna most likely give me any kind of shot I want. Do you know what I mean? Maybe. I don't know. You know, we might be moving in a direction.
Or at least listen, at least give you a second to get right. To get the pitch out. Like it's not gonna be like,
John, no. What do you think about that? You know what I mean? Like I'm invested in you, Krista. Like, so like I really think, but Keisha, pump the brakes, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like you're not even allowed to have those ideas. Jamal, get the hell out of here. You know what I mean? So like I think we all just, even in this conversation, like layered, whether it's electronic, whether it's in person, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's a recruiter. I'm watching TikToks with lots of Black women. I'm doing a lot of research right now, like just on how Black women are experiencing this period in time in their lives and the workforce. And like recruiters being happy when they see a name like mine, Amber, you don't know what you're getting. You know what I mean? And then someone with my face hops on with the LinkedIn recruiter and they end the call.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Several women have said that on TikTok. So like, come on, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I will say that it's actually really interesting. One real life story that happened is that I had applied to a job through Indeed or something like that. And I, didn't expect anything of it because, it's a numbers game. You don't really know what's going to happen. And I didn't get that job as expected because I was like, whatever. I just put my name in the mix just to see what happened. But then they reached out to me like a month or so later about a different job. And they were like, hey, we saw your resume on file. Like, we think you would be good for this job instead. So I was like, okay, like, let me see what it's about. When I was on call with the hiring manager, she actually let it slip that like one of the reasons why they gave me a call was obviously because my resume spoke for it, but like my name had stood out from the pile. So she was like, I had never seen anybody with that name before. And then for whatever reason, it called me to your application, which is like so not ethical. Like, let's be real.
She said that to you, like she was like, oh, like your name is so interesting. I actually
just have to see
read your resume.
Exactly. It's like I'd never seen a Remington Bennett before, and like your name immediately jumped out. So I was like, let me see what their credentials are talking about. And so it just so happened that my credentials actually fit the role that they were looking for. But it just goes to show you that like there is this unconscious, maybe very conscious, and a lot of times bias that really does exist in all of these stages of looking for a job. And whether or not it works for you or against you, like that shouldn't matter. Like my name should not be the reason why you took a second to look deeper into my credentials. Like that's not fair. My name,
that's
nothing else. I want everyone to check out the corporate catfish experiment with Aaliyah Jones.
Yes.
She's an overqualified Black creator from Washington, D.C. Shout out to the DMV. She decided, oh, well, I'm just going to make a white profile with the same freaking credentials. And I don't want to give it away because I think she's trying to do a whole documentary about it and everything. She's fundraising for this effort right now. But like, check out the corporate catfish experiment.
Yeah.
And then you will understand what I'm talking about if you don't understand. You know what I mean? Because like she killed it.
Yeah.
She really killed it and showed us like, come on, everybody. LinkedIn, Zip Recruiter, all of that. Like, yeah, get it together.
It's a madhouse. It's a madhouse.
Mm-hmm. It is a reflection of our own like personal biases. There's no way to get around it because like even like you think about like the people who are hiring managers, like they're being underpaid as well probably to do these jobs of finding talent, and then they're having to go through all these resumes. So as much as it is like unethical and that story is crazy, it's so not unbelievable. Like that, of course, someone who's like probably they're not getting paid to find talent. Like they have another whole ass job and then they have this huge stack of papers. Yeah. Like how could we have any I just have such a lack of faith in humanity to do any more than that. Like it really does suck. And I can also speak to like when I've been a hiring manager and had to like find talent, and I actually also did stuff like that, but in the opposite direction. Like I was like, I'm looking for like, ideally I'd love a Black woman on my team, and I literally like, I'm not gonna like spend half an hour talking to like 100 people, like, so I'm gonna pick the Black women over like the other like a white guy or a white woman. And so in a way like our biases and personal whatever are gonna get in the way of everything in life.
Yep.
Yeah,
and we're at the mercy of other people's biases constantly.
That part. That should be a t-shirt. We're constantly at the mercy of other people's biases. I'm tired of it.
Yeah. That's why everybody is, not everybody, but a lot of people are breaking away and doing and starting their own things and looking for other ways to have a more flexible, and that presents many challenges as well because, biases still exist when you are a, entrepreneur. If you're an entrepreneur of color, a woman entrepreneur, a non-binary entrepreneur, whatever the case may be, like you are still now put against, those same stereotypes, those same challenges where people are presuming something about your product, but just because of who you are, how you look, how you present yourself, etc. So like it literally never stops. But I think the question is, it's like, what is the way that we can take it into our own hands? And like, how can we figure out a way to create this so it works for us and not against us? And I know for one thing's for sure, a platform like LinkedIn, it's not working for us. It's not made to work for us. It's made to work for them and for the major companies and for people who are buying into it. And that's just my thoughts on that.
Yeah, and no platform, unfortunately, at the end of the day, cares about challenging biases.
Yeah, or social norms. Yeah, they're just like, where's the money? So
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for white supremacy.
What?
I genuinely,
I want everyone to know.
I don't know why that's funny.
It's not funny at all, but like I will say, like at least.
But I genuinely am very sorry for white supremacy.
Like, in my direction, bro. Like it's good.
I'm crying. Yeah,
but it's not. It's not okay. It's really not okay.
It's really not. But like.
But we should have a whole episode on biases and being at the mercy of people's biases.
And honestly, like what our own biases are and what we've, because everybody has them. Like I have my own just based on my own lived experiences, and like the fact that I'm even aware is more than some people can say, right? So like, yeah, we should talk about that further.
Yeah, and get people more comfortable with acknowledging their biases, because then ideally there'll be more hiring managers who can challenge their biases and work them in reverse and catch them in the moment.
I agree. Hey, everybody. Okay, so we just spent a wonderful time having a conversation with Amber and Elise about all of our complex feelings about LinkedIn. I think the general consensus is that we're not a fan. But I think overall, the reality is people are still using it as a really, as a tool to help them find jobs and to help them meet people. And that's not going away anytime soon. And I know that if you're listening, you're probably one of those people who have a LinkedIn page, or maybe don't really know how to utilize their LinkedIn page to, get attractive offers from opportunities or jobs or companies that you want that align with your interests, your skills, and the path that you want to go down. Now, listen, as I mentioned before, am I a fan of LinkedIn and using it for jobs? No, I'm not a fan of using the job board. I'm not a fan of using it as a way to find a job in a cold manner, like in cold leads, right? Now, if you so insist on using LinkedIn, I'm not saying that it's terrible, but I'm saying that you can't use it the way that it's advertised for you to use it. You have to understand all the back end tools and tricks and strategies that recruiters are actually using to find you. So you have to be basically matching the recruiter's criteria on what it means to have an attractive LinkedIn profile, and instead of just going to the job board page and saying, okay, this is the job I want, apply. No, you want to look attractive, right? Like it shouldn't be the other way around. So with that being said, I'm going to share a few tips and tools that you can use to stand out from the pack when it comes to recruiters being able to find you on LinkedIn, and not the other way around. Because ultimately, if you make your LinkedIn profile more attractive for recruiters to find you, it eliminates like 90% of the work that you're going to have to do later in terms of actually looking for the job. So one of the first things first is when you have a LinkedIn, like, people can tell when you're just making a LinkedIn to have a LinkedIn or when you're actually having a presence on LinkedIn. Now, unfortunately, like any other app or any other website, LinkedIn pushes out the profiles that are engaging it with the most. Like think about, like I said, the dating app okay, scenario is really easy because it really actually aligns with a lot of the things and strategies and tools I'm talking about. But if you're not engaging with an app, like it's not going to push you out. Same thing with TikTok, right? Like you may find that when you're on TikTok or if you're posting on TikTok, now the algorithm is constantly changing. So I'm not talking about like the realisticness of this in every case. But what I'm saying in general, if you're not engaging with the app at all, like the chances are less high for you to be seen by other people. So if you're on LinkedIn, unfortunately, you're going to have a presence. And by presence, you're going to have at least 500 connections on LinkedIn. Something about having 500 connections or more signals to not only the app, but to recruiters that you are somebody who has a robust professional network, that it's almost like a way to vet your, how established you are within your career, within your industry, within the people that you're talking with. But when you have like 500 or more connections in that way, like it signals to recruiters that you have an engaged network. You already have established yourself within your professional career, with your industry or whatever it may be. And they want people who actually look like they know what they're doing within whatever it is that they're trying to do. Like, I know it's bad, it sucks, like the optics of it are annoying, but they do matter. Recruiters want to reach out to people who look like they've already established something from themselves, even if they are just entry level, right? Like you want to look like you are professional. You want to look like you're an expert matter, a subject matter a subject matter expert. There we go. My goodness, my brain, you guys. But essentially, when you have a presence, like it absolutely adds to that. So that's just something you want to keep in mind, making sure you have multiple connections on your LinkedIn. Another thing that's very big and very important, please take off the open for work banner on your profile. I know it's very popular, and a lot of people feel like, well, I feel like if I'm looking for a job, people should know I'm looking for a job. It actually works against you. And every recruiter that I've talked to and every career coach that I've talked to says the exact same thing. It's working against you because when you're in this pool of people who are all applying for jobs, it's like everybody wants a thing that they can't have. And if you are advertising that you are looking for a job and you really need a job or whatever the case may be, it's like, yeah, sure, you're doing people a favor by letting them know that you're open to opportunity. But guess who else is open to opportunity? People who aren't open for work. Just because you are working, a really comfortable, cushiony job that pays you a lot of money doesn't mean that your options are not, open. It doesn't mean that you're not looking for a job. So you're also up against those people who are experts in whatever they do, or who are the company's treasure and prized possessions. And they may not be advertising that they're looking for a job, but if given the right opportunity and given the right amount of money, they might just leave and bring their talents to wherever it else is going to offer them more of what it is that they want. And so ultimately, it's all just kind of like a battlefield out here, right? And recruiters want that prized possession. They want that prized toy. They want that person who's like, wow, they're doing big things. We want them. Even if it's like, they may not really be doing big things, but wherever they're at, it looks like they're contributing, they're making a name for themselves and whatever. They're just not looking. They're not looking for the recruiters. So therefore, the recruiters are looking for them. I know that sucks. I know it does, because it should go to the people who really need it and want it. But that doesn't mean that can't be you. Like, you can still need it and want it, but you want to appear like you're off the market. And when you have that open for work banner there, it makes it look desperate. It does. It does. It does. I know it sucks. But recruiters don't find that appealing. Nobody finds desperation appealing. Even when you are desperate, I know it sucks. It's annoying, but that's what the LinkedIn, I'm just telling you what works on LinkedIn. I'm not telling you what works in everything else. I'm just telling you how it works on LinkedIn. That's the case. Okay. Moving on to your about section. Your about section, treat it as if you're making a website for like your business or for your product or something, and you want it to be search engine optimized. Like, you want to make sure that when you type in something about your product, that your website pops up on Google in the first page, or even honestly the first 3 results, right? That's because the Google recognizes the keywords that you're using as one of the things that needs to be optimized in the search when you look it up. So LinkedIn operates the same way, and it uses your about section to do so. And so I would look at what LinkedIn keywords are in your industry or in your field of work and whatever kind of job that you're looking for. And I would find ways to add those into your about section, and make sure that it's aligned with the type of jobs that you want. So when recruiters are looking you up on the back end of LinkedIn, your page is one of the ones that comes up. So look at you. This will require a little bit of research. I also utilize AI for this if you don't know what this would look like. And I would figure out what keywords are aligned with the jobs that you want and that are basically SEO optimized when it comes to LinkedIn. Another thing that often helps really, and I'm going to kind of bridge a few slides into one. I'm also referencing my LinkedIn series from my TikTok. But one thing that I will also say is kind of going back to, you want to frame yourself as a professional in whatever industry that you are, is you want to make yourself look like you have a brand, right? Even if you don't have a brand, you want to make yourself like you appear like you are a brand, or like you are or are a representative of the company that you're working for. Whatever the case may be, is you want to look like you are overly invested in whatever it is that you're doing, whether it is working for a company, whether it is you are a public speaker and you have your own brand behind you. You want to make it very clear on your LinkedIn page that you are dedicated to whatever it is that you're doing from a skill set that will offer, and you'll be able to offer this to a company or a career or an organization in the same way and passion that you do for yourself or the current company that you work for, right? The other thing I'm going to say, I'm kind of trying to speed through this, there's a lot, but the last thing I will say is a professional headshot is necessary, guys. Like, I know this probably shouldn't need to be said, but for some people it needs to be said. You do need a professional headshot. It doesn't mean it needs to be a super stuffy one. It doesn't mean that you have to be, in the old school, like white background with your suit on. I mean, those are still nice. That's a classic. It's a classic. But it's definitely not a selfie. It's definitely not somebody else in the photo. It's definitely not like an unprofessional crop where there was clearly somebody else in the photo and you crop them out. These things matter. And if you want to be attractive to recruiters on the back end, you want to make sure that every element of your LinkedIn profile is attractive within itself. And one of the things that is very attractive is the first thing that people see, which is your photo. And like we were talking about, there are biases that exist. So we can't help but share, or we can't help but be perceived in certain ways. However, what we can control is the quality of the picture, the lighting, who's in it, what is the focus, what are we wearing, how is our haircut that day, right? Like, you want to do the best you can to appear as professional as possible, because that is the first thing that people are going to see about you. And that's also one thing that people got a little bit sneaky with in the job application process, is they know that they can't ask for a picture of you, but they can ask for your LinkedIn. Okay. So that is one way that people kind of bypass this. Like, I want to see what this person looks like. I personally recommend don't add in your LinkedIn in your job application process. If they want to look you up on their own terms, they will, they can, whatever. But at that point, if they're looking you up, is because you're already further along enough in the process for them to want to do that. Don't voluntarily give them your LinkedIn profile in the very beginning stages of applying for a job. That's a very easy way for you to get screened and cut out based on certain biases like race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, whatever may be the case. So those are just a few things from me. Again, do I recommend LinkedIn as a job search tool? Not necessarily, but if you do choose to do it, these are just a few tips that I recommend. And use them with responsibility, or don't use them at all. And I'm sure you'll be just fine. Even if you don't use LinkedIn, you will. So that's it for me. I'm going to throw it back to Elise and Amber. And y'all, thank you.
Thank you, Remington.
Thanks, guys. Woo! I was trying to wrap through those, but you know what? I think you guys get the point. And if you guys have any more questions, that's what we're here for. That's what I'm here for. So let me know in the comments if you have any specific questions on anything I said. We can add context and color. So
you killed it.
Thanks, y'all. Have fun.
Thanks.
Okay. Let's talk about Amber deleting her LinkedIn.
First, welcome to the back channel. This is our segment.
So okay. I'm going off script here.
We're so excited to talk about it. I mean, yeah, let's go. Let's jump in. everybody.
Well, first, I guess we should introduce ourselves. I'm Elise, and this is Amber, and we're from I Love You, Bitch. I Love You, Bit XX. And we're on a mission post-burnout to rediscover joy and healing through our long-distance friendship.
Go us.
Okay, so Remington just broke down a few LinkedIn tips for people who are gonna use LinkedIn. Basically, the theme of this episode is don't be LinkedIn's bitch, make LinkedIn your bitch. But you're on a journey of wanting to delete your LinkedIn. So
yes,
say more.
All right, so I actually turned off my LinkedIn for 60 days. And in doing so, people reached out and were like, oh my God, I thought something happened to you. Like my one homeboy was like, dude, I was really scared. Like I thought something really bad happened to you. And I was just like, what the heck? So that was weird. If depending on when this airs, my LinkedIn is up but not active. I have removed LinkedIn as something that you can find if you search my name on Google. I have removed all notifications, so I don't care what happens, who looks at my profile. I don't give a shit. I have removed pretty much any way that you can look at my profile if we're not first connections, so you cannot see me. I have been contemplating removing my profile picture, but right now I have a cute profile picture banner that kind of represents this. Hey,
I have your LinkedIn pulled up right now. You got a cute little banner with bold text, rethinking what matters, and a little pic of you jumping, and then it has the little capture, I'm not a robot thing.
Exactly.
Very kitschy. Did you use AI to make that?
No, I actually used Canva and I made that on my own.
It's beautiful.
No, anyway, so like I'm contemplating taking my.
It's beautiful. I was just joking.
No one cares. I'm contemplating taking my profile photo down and taking my banner down as well, and just turning it like gray, not black, but just gray, just because it's like everything that we put up on that platform is data that their AI uses against us. And so for me, you know, I'm edging every day towards deleting my LinkedIn. The only problem is I have like 13,000 connections. And so, or over 13,000 connections. And so,
but if you're not using them, then what's the point? You know, like it's like a sunk cost fallacy thing. If you're not discoverable on LinkedIn, at the end of the day, there's no point being on there at all, really.
Because the people who are first connections can still find me. They can still look at my profile. They can still talk to me. In fact, I still answer in a monthly basis, a monthly batch basis, DMs from first connections only, because those are the only people that can connect with me. So like in that way, I'm using it as a black book, you know, but like I don't like discoverability is not something on that platform that I aspire to, especially because I was so hyper visible at one point before against my own will in some ways. So like I think for me, the opportunity to reclaim power over the platform might not be me completely deleting it, but me using it in a way that the platform might not have been intended to use to help people who I'm already connected with. If you're not connected with me already, I'm sorry. You know, and that's that on that. Now, do I need to work harder at doing that? Absolutely, yes.
Harder at what?
Just being more available to my own 13,000 connections.
But why? Because we're talking about making something your bitch, and you're still talking about how you can be of service to others. Like you need to take a little every now and then.
Yeah, well, you got to give a little to take a little too.
But you have been you've given too much, like you said. Like I feel like you're stuck in this, like because you even know it yourself, but then you keep giving instead of it's time for you to take.
I said to make myself a little more available to my 13,000 connections, right? That means that like, that helps me too, right? Like as Remington said in the beginning, you know, cultivating certain relationships so that you can get a job or you can, you know, have.
So that's the long game.
that's the long game, you know. And obviously, because I'm a badass bitch, I have stuff to offer these people as well. Like, I'm not going in with, I'm gonna milk these connections. It's more of like, how do I cultivate them and grow them and nurture them so it's not a random reach out at some point down the line. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've been talking because I like you. The people that I'm connected with that I don't like, I've blocked, disconnected with, and don't talk to anymore. But if you're still in the group, you know, we have something that could benefit each other at some point on this timeline. That's how I feel about that. Anyway, what else do the people want to know?
Well, actually, I mean, I was thinking I would come into this little debate here trying to convince you not to delete your LinkedIn and use it to your advantage, but I guess what you're saying makes sense. So I feel like I've been stumped.
No, I'm just kidding. I mean, at the end of the day, people are going to do what they want to do because it's y'all's lives. You know what I mean? I just think from the standpoint of where I am, I have experience having to be super visible on LinkedIn and then people monitoring every single thing that I do on LinkedIn and then that being an issue. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, in many ways,
it feels like vulnerable for you.
No, not vulnerable. It feels like slavery. It feels like control. Vulnerability. I don't post, you know, my divorce. Here's 5 things my divorce taught me about blah, blah, blah. Like, no, that's fake vulnerability. That's what a lot of people are doing on LinkedIn. My thing is the surveillance of it all as a Black body in America and people looking at your LinkedIn and being like, is she leaving? You know, like that kind of shit. Or people looking at everything that you post on LinkedIn and then being like, that's not appropriate to post because you represent us as a company. That's serfdom. That's feudalism. That's slavery. That is ownership. And just because you pay someone a paycheck doesn't mean that you have control over every aspect of their lives, including social media, whether they work for you and you're on social media or not. And so I think for me, I don't know. You know, other people maybe need to work on the whole vulnerability bit and like what you can share more and how you can be a little bit more honest on the platform to draw people in. For me, I have no problem. I could put up a slice of cheese on LinkedIn and people will be like, oh my God, there's something deeper here that she's sharing with us. You know what I mean? Like, for me, the issue is the surveillance.
Right.
Your HR lady, and I'm speaking in generals right now, the HR lady, you know, dinging you because you posted something about a conflict in the world that your company doesn't agree with, but hits you personally. Do you know what I mean? Like, those are the things that we need to push back and challenge on, that we're allowing coworkers to be cops on each other's platforms, to report each other for things that are just, like, it's just weird. You know what I mean? So that's me. All right.
I can't speak to that because I don't have a job.
I had one once. I don't anymore.
But then that is the time to use LinkedIn.
Maybe. You know, like.
Inconclusive.
No. I also think because you can't fully block people on LinkedIn, people can still look at your profile.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy like that. And I feel like a lot of people joined LinkedIn, like one of their marketing tactics was the whole thing around how you can see if someone's looking at your profile, and you can't actually see a profile unless you have LinkedIn. So yeah, that's how they get you, I guess.
Yeah, it's a huge panopticon for employment, in my opinion. That's, at least as a visible person on the platform, it feels less like an opportunity and more like you're standing in the middle of a panopticon. That's what it feels like. You know what I mean? Okay, do we want to say anything more? Like, you love LinkedIn, so like maybe
I don't love LinkedIn. Why do you keep saying that?
Like, maybe brighten this session up a bit before we bring Remington back on. Like,
well, I think this has been our little section around should you delete your LinkedIn. I guess it's inconclusive, but more broadly, we'll know, because we're also talking about how you can use LinkedIn to your benefit. Just don't have any expectations of getting anything concrete out of it. You have to make it your bitch. Don't be LinkedIn's bitch. And that's kind of a summary. Let's bring Remington back in and wrap up the episode.
Remington, what's
up? What do you say?
I said, Remington, what's up, girl?
Hey, I loved it. I love everything that you had to say, because honestly, too, that's what you were talking about like the ownership piece of when you do have a job and then like you have a LinkedIn and then you feel like people are expecting you to use it a certain way just because you have a job. It's like, where was that in the contract? Like, I can't just, you know what I mean? Like there's not really a level of like separation between your view of how to use LinkedIn and what they expect you to use it for. Like, yeah, it's a kind of dangerous territory, but all valid things. But you know what, y'all, if you guys like LinkedIn, then keep liking LinkedIn. This is not one of the things that I always say, like when I'm talking to people about their job search, and like I have personal preferences based on what I know have works through like coaching and things, and people will be like, well, it works for me. And if it works for you, works for you. Like, that's amazing. Like, keep doing what works for you. I think that's something important to stress. Like, just because we're saying it's not the tea doesn't mean it's not your tea. Okay. So like,
drink your tea.
Drinking your tea.
How you like it.
Exactly. Okay. I may not be big on, Earl Grey, but I know some people love Earl Grey. Like, if you love Earl Grey with your scone in the morning, keep drinking your Earl Grey. That's it, So
love it. Well, thanks everyone for listening.
Wait, before we go, I just want to add one more thing. I find it hella dystopian that LinkedIn laid off thousands of workers, and those workers went on LinkedIn to announce that they got laid off from the company and platform. Do you know, like I would love for us to have a part 2 about this, just because it's like, how do we reimagine what dignity looks like for people who work?
Yeah.
How do we bring dignity? I mean, maybe labor is never a dignified experience under all the systems that we're under, but like at the end of the day, like I would be hard pressed to post on a platform that I worked on, helped to build. You laid me off, and now I'm gonna come and announce how I feel about that on the platform. Like, that to me is just so crazy. Like, yeah, I would love for us to keep this conversation going about things like this, because I agree. My God.
That's something, isn't it? Isn't that something? The very organization that wants you to find a job lays thousands of people off. But you know what? Cool. Anyway,
all right. Sorry.
We're done. I guess we're done. All right. Well.
All right. We can stop recording, I guess.
Follow us and subscribe.
Yeah, don't forget to follow the new ladder to find Remington and all her career tips, how to build your own life untraditionally, rebuilding the ladder, and then find us on I Love You BITXX on TikTok, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Yes.
We don't post on LinkedIn anymore.
All right. Bye.